So next we can move to the next topic, that is the force between two parallel currents. So we can consider, or we want to find actually what is the force experienced between two parallel straight current carrying conductor or wire of any length. So first we can consider a wire A through which an amount of current I it is passing in the upward direction. So we know that through a conductor, if a current I it is passing, means that will produces a magnetic field around that conductor. So if the current it is passing in the upward direction, there is a magnetic field around this conductor, and we know that that magnetic field around a straight conductor is into the form of a circle itself actually. So whenever you are considering this straight conductor, keep the thumb in the direction of the current, then look at the direction of the fingers. In this side, your finger it is moving inward. Therefore, in this side, this current carrying conductor is producing a magnetic field, means that magnetic field is actually inward direction. This is the magnetic field due to a conductor A which is carrying a current I, or I of A, current passing through the first conductor I of A. And this conductor is having a length L. So if this is the conductor through which a current I is passing, means this side the magnetic field is inward, and look at the other side, it is outward. So here it is outward, but here it is inward. So here we consider a conductor A which is carrying a current I of A and it is having a length L. So in this direction there is a magnetic field and that magnetic field is B of A. And suppose there is another one conductor B which is carrying a current I of B and length L itself. If you placed near to this one at a distance D, what will happen? This second conductor which is carrying a current I of B is actually placed in the magnetic field produced by the first conductor B of A. So we studied that whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in the presence of a magnetic field, that will experience a force, which means that this conductor B is now experiencing a force, and that force is because of the presence of this magnetic field and this current. Clear the idea? First, this is the conductor through which an amount of current I of A is passing. Therefore, that is producing a magnetic field here, that is B of A. And in that magnetic field, there comes a second conductor with a current I of B, means this is actually experiencing a force due to this magnetic field and this current. And what was the formula to find the force? F is equal to VIL sin theta. But what is theta? Theta is the angle between B and IL. IL means this one. Magnetic field is acting inward and conductor it is kept like this according to our Fleming's left hand rule. Magnetic field is inward, conductor it is kept like this, means theta is 90. Therefore, force is actually BIL. So, this second conductor B experiences a force because of current passing through the conductor A and its magnetic field. So, whenever you are writing F is equal to BIL, this B is actually magnetic field produced by the conductor A which is carrying a current. This conductor is experiencing a force, that is because of this magnetic field B of A and the current passing through its own length L. Therefore, FB equal to BA, that means the magnetic field produced by the first conductor that is passing through the second conductor, and its length L, theta is 90. But what is this BA? BA means actually that is the magnetic field produced by a straight conductor carrying current. What is the magnetic field produced by a straight conductor carrying current? The magnetic field produced by a straight conductor carrying current is mu 0 I by 2 pi r. R means actually that is the distance of this one. That is 2 pi d. This is placed at a distance d from here. So that distance. But which current it is? This is A. This is the magnetic field of the conductor A. Therefore, mu 0 Ia divided by 2 pi b. So, you can find f of b is equal to mu 0 Ia divided by 2 pi b into Ib into L, where L is its length. So, what is force per length? Force per length means that is small f, that is equal to F by L. So FB by L means that is equal to mu 0 Ia Ib L divided by 2 pi. And what is the direction of the force experienced by this one? This conductor experiences a force due to this magnetic field. That magnetic field is acting inward, and current it is flowing in the upward direction itself we are considering. Therefore, current is upward. So, magnetic field inward, current upward. Therefore, this is experiencing a force FB towards this direction. So, this conductor B is experiencing a force that is mu 0 Ia Ib L divided by 2 pi. In the same way, you can consider through this conductor if a current Ib it is passing means that will produce as a magnetic field around this. Yes or no? So current is upward. So here magnetic field is inward means here the magnetic field is outward. So this conductor produces a magnetic field V of B, but that is outward direction. And in this magnetic field, this second conductor carrying current Ia, it comes means that will experience as a force. Therefore, force experienced by the conductor A, that is because of which magnetic field? Magnetic field produced by the conductor B, and current passing through its on and its length L. Theta is 90, same as our previous case. But what is B of B? Magnetic field produced by this conductor, that is also mu 0. B of B means mu 0. I means its current, that means Ib divided by 2 pi, same distance, but in opposite direction we are considering. Therefore, mu 0 Ib by 2 pi d into Ia into L. So, what is the force experienced by the conductor A? That is mu 0 Ia Ib L divided by 2 pi d. Same one, equal in magnitude. Therefore, force per length, small f is Fa by L means mu 0 Ia Ib divided by 2 pi. Understood? But what about direction? This conductor carrying current upward direction, but this one experiences a force because of this magnetic field. Magnetic field is outward. So, current upward, magnetic field outward, therefore automatically thumb is pointing towards this direction. Therefore, F of A. So equal in magnitude, acting towards. Therefore, you can say that here it is given the current is passing through the same direction. Both of this one is in the same direction. Therefore, like current attract. So actually, the figure will come like this. Through two straight conductors, if the current it is passing, but a large amount of current it is required for an infinite length, that too will be get attracted like this. Then, what will happen if the current is flowing in opposite direction? You can check. If the current is flowing upward through this one, magnetic field is inward here. Therefore, this is experiencing upward, but here the current is flowing downward, unlike current. So, this will experience a force because of this one. First conductor, magnetic field inward. In that one, we are keeping a second one, but the current is flowing in downward direction. Therefore, this will experience a force, and that force means magnetic field is inward, current is downward. Therefore, what is the force? Force is along this direction. Then, what about for this one? The current is downward. So, current is downward. So, here the magnetic field is inward itself. Like this it will come now. You are catching that one. You are catching that one like this. Therefore, here it is inward, here it is outward. Therefore, here it is inward. And in this magnetic field, this is coming. Fleming's left hand rule, magnetic field inward, current upward, therefore poles. Therefore, they are repelling. Therefore, this is like current. Unlike current, opposite current means unlike, they are repelling. But we know that as in the cases of charges, like charges repel, unlike charges attract. But as in the cases of current, it is just opposite. Understood? This is one of the important section they are asking usually in problems also. So, what was that formula? Force F is equal to mu 0 IA IB divided by 2 pi d into L. So suppose here the current IA is equal to IB is equal to 1 ampere, length L is equal to 1 meter or unit magnitude, SI unit we are choosing here, and distance D is also 1 unit. What will F? F means mu 0 by 2 pi. But what is mu 0? Mu 0 is 2 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. And the unit of this one whenever you are writing, this is Tesla. Mu 0 is Tesla meter per ampere, no? Into ampere square meter divided by meter. That's not it. So how much it becomes? This is 4 pi. 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 divided by 2 pi. Therefore, it will come as 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. So, 2 into 2 and 2, pi and pi cancel, therefore it becomes 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. What is its meaning? How can you define 1 ampere? Here we consider through two current conductors, an amount of current, how much it is passing, 1 ampere it is passing, and that was kept at a distance of how much? 1 meter distance. And and length also we considered as unit. So in this cases, the force between, if the force between two parallel conductors is how much? 2 into 10 raised to minus 7, if they are placed at a distance of 1 meter apart, then the current passing through that conductors become how much? The current passing through that conductors become 1 ampere itself. That is actually the definition of 1 ampere. If the force between two parallel conductors carrying current is 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton, if we are getting, then the current passing through each of that conductor is how much? That is 1 ampere. That is actually the definition of 1 ampere from this one. Okay. Good morning, children. So we can continue the chapter magnetic effect of electric current. So in the last class we stopped our discussion to find the magnetic field produced by a solenoid by applying Ampere's law. So today we can continue that topic, that means the application of Ampere's law. So as the third example or third application, we can find the magnetic field produced by a toroid. So first of all, what is a toroid? So what is a toroid means? A toroid is circular solenoid itself. Toroid is a circular solenoid. That means we know that a solenoid means that is a long wire which is wounded like this, and then when the current will starts to flow through it, that will produce a magnetic field. One end of that one become north pole and the other end become south pole, and you can increase the strength of the magnetic field of the solenoid by inserting an iron piece itself. So when this solenoid is bent into the form of a circle, that is this one, when you bend as into the form of a circle, that is actually known as what? Toroid. So a toroid is actually a circular solenoid itself. What is toroid? A toroid is a circular solenoid. So it is a hollow circular solenoid, a hollow circle. So in order to increase the strength of the magnetic field produced by a toroid, here you can keep a ferromagnetic material, that means iron or any magnetic material, or that you can wound the coil like this. This is actually a toroid itself. And then if the current is passing through this coil from one end, connect this one with the battery. Through this coil, the current will start to flow inward through the back side in the opposite direction, inward. Like this, the current will flow. So this is actually a toroid itself. So what is a toroid means? A toroid is a circular solenoid itself. That means a solenoid means that is a rectangular one, and that one or a straight one just as in the form of a cylinder. But if you bend that one into the form of a circle, that is actually known as a toroid itself. So this is actually a toroid. Means here this is a magnetic material, that means a material which is inserted in order to increase the strength of the magnetic field produced by it, over which there are the presence of number of windings, and that windings are tightly wounded actually, and that is actually known as a toroid itself. Okay, and Next, we want to find the magnetic field produced by a toroid. So we know that a toroid means that is a circular solenoid. So we can consider a cylindrical magnetic material. That means any material which can get magnetized and over which we can wound the coil like this. And through one end the current is entering, therefore the current will go like this. Current flows out, current I. And then just the same as our previous case, that means as in the case of the solenoid, here we can take the cross section of this toroid. So whenever we are taking the cross section of this toroid, the figure will come like this. And when you cut this one, wire will come now. So this is the wire's cross section. Are you remembering the cross section of a solenoid? Solenoid was like this, no? And but when you bend this one, it will come like this with the same pattern. That's only. So this is actually the cross section of the toroid. Through one end, the current is inward. Through other end, it is outward. So here it is inward. Inward, outward like that. And we want to find the magnetic field produced by a solenoid. And then whenever we are finding the magnetic field produced by a toroid, three different cases we want to consider. The first one is an open space inside to the solenoid, an open space outside the solenoid, and on the surface of the solenoid. This is the ferromagnetic material. This one, this area. So here we know that a solenoid is like this. When you bend that one into the form of a circle like this, here nothing is present. Here also nothing is present. Therefore, this is open space. So we want to find what is the magnetic field. First, at the open space inside the solenoid, second outside the solenoid, and on the surface of the solenoid. Here. By applying which theorem? By applying Ampere's law. So first we can consider open space inside. That means we want to find the magnetic field at a point P inside of this. So this is the center of the solenoid. So this point P is at a distance R1 you can take. And then in order to apply the Ampere's theorem, imagine an Amperian loop based on the symmetry, a circular Amperian loop passing through this point P itself. And this Amperian loop is having a radius R1. And then at this point P, you can apply the Ampere's law. So what is Ampere's law? The closed integral of the magnetic field, that means the closed integral of B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. So according to the Ampere's theorem, the closed integral of B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. That means within that Amperian loop, how much amount of current it is enclosed we want to consider. But look at the figure here. Is there is any current in this between region? No. Here I enclosed is equal to 0. Current enclosed is equal to 0. Therefore, you can write the closed integral of B dot dl is equal to 0, or otherwise the magnetic field B equal to 0 itself. Understood? And the next you can consider a point P outside. In the same way, we can consider next one, open space outside or exterior. So we can consider an Amperian loop which is passing through this point P with a radius R2. In the same way, according to Biot-Savart law, the closed integral of B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. But what is I enclosed here? Here, whenever you are considering this loop like this, whatever amount of current it is entering to the plane, the equal amount of current it is leaving from that. Therefore, I enclosed is equal to 0 itself. The amount of current entering to that plane is equal to the amount of current leaving from that plane based on the symmetry of this toroid. So I enclosed is again equal to 0 itself. So you can write closed integral B dot dl is equal to 0, or the magnetic field is equal to 0 itself. Which means that an open space interior to a toroid and an open space exterior to the toroid, the magnetic field B equal to how much? The magnetic field B is equal to 0. Okay? And next, we want to find the magnetic field at a point inside this solenoid. That means on the body. At a point P here. Suppose you are considering the point P here with a distance R. So, whenever you are considering, that means on the solenoid or inside the solenoid, not open space, inside the solenoid. So, at this point, that means on this core, there will be a magnetic field. As in the cases of the solenoid, we studied that when it is wounded like this, there is a strong and uniform magnetic field inside this solenoid. But the strength of the solenoid is uniform and more in the middle, and it will move. It becomes less whenever we are moving. That means there is a little variation is there. But as in the cases of this toroid, Because of this symmetry, there is a uniform magnetic field always or everywhere. So here, based on the symmetry of this one, here the current it is coming like this. This is upper part. This one which is showing, that is actually downward, down part. But two-dimensional figure we can draw like this only. That is, it is wounded like this. This is, suppose this is a part of this solenoid means it is upward part, it is downward part. That is, this is upward part, this is downward part. So here you can apply the right hand thumb rule, catch the coil like this. So thumb in the direction of current, therefore the magnetic field is circular like this. So here also it will come like this. Here also it will come like this. Here also it will come like this. This part is actually downward. We can't see that one actually in the figure. So there will be a net magnetic field. Whenever you are considering the solenoid like this, there is a net magnetic field, a uniform, strong magnetic field within the loop of this solenoid. Therefore, here there is a strong magnetic field and it is uniform in magnitude. So whenever you are choosing a point P here, look at this figure. This is in this direction. Here also it is in the same 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 direction. And this is downward. Like this, whenever you are considering, this one only you can see. So the current like this. Just the same as our solenoid. So whenever you are viewing here, current is like the same direction. Therefore, the magnetic field is also in upward direction, that is in the same direction. Like this. Whenever you are considering current is like this means, consider that one as a single part coil. Current is upward. So, thumb in the direction, catch this one like this. So, the magnetic field it is coming like this. Okay. So the net magnetic field means magnetic field will come in this direction. That is magnetic field. There is a clockwise magnetic field. So at this point P, whenever you are considering a small segment of that Amperian loop, magnetic field B is acting along that direction and the length of that Amperian loop is also along the same direction. So whenever you are applying the Ampere's law, you can write the closed integral B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. And B and dl is acting along the same direction. Therefore, it becomes closed B dl cos 0 is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. But how much is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1 and we want to find the value of B. Therefore, take B outside. Closed integral dl is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. But what is this dl? dl is actually the integral of this Amperian loop. So the Amperian loop is into the form of a circle with the radius is equal to r itself. This is r1 and this is r. So B closed integral dl means L, that is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. But what is L? That is the length of the Amperian loop, but Amperian loop is into the form of a circle. Therefore, with the radius r, therefore it becomes B into 2 pi r. That is equal to mu 0 times I enclosed. But how much is I enclosed? I is the amount of current passing through each turn. And suppose for this solenoid it has n number of turns. N is the total number of turns means how much will be I enclosed? I is the amount of current passing through single turn. So through n number of turns, the total current means that is capital N into I. This is equal to B into 2 pi r. So what is B? B is equal to actually mu 0 capital Ni divided by 2 pi r. But 2 pi r means actually that is L, length of the Amperian loop, or length of that solenoid actually it is. Therefore it is mu 0 Ni by L. But what is this N by L? Where capital N is the total number of turns. Total number of turns and L is the length of the solenoid. Therefore, N by L means that is small n number of turns per unit length. Therefore, the final expression you can write it as B is equal to mu 0 capital N by L means that is small n into I. This final expression is actually just the same as that of the magnetic field produced by a solenoid. So, toroid is nothing but a solenoid itself. There is a difference in the geometry. Okay, I hope it is clear.